On paper, Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, appears to be a modest statesman who earns a modest salary. However, a number of specialists believe that he is one of the richest persons on the planet, with assets estimated to be worth up to $200 billion. Is that really true? Let's find out as we take a look at how rich Putin really is. On October 7, 1952, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin was born in Leningrad, which was then a part of the Russian SFSR and the Soviet Union, now called St. Petersburg. His mother, Maria, worked in a factory, and his father, Vladimir Spiridonovich Putin, was part of the Soviet Navy. Putin was the only child of his parents. At the age of 12, he began training in the martial arts of Sambo and Judo, and he currently holds a black belt in Judo. Putin attended Leningrad State University, where he studied law and graduated in 1975. He first became acquainted with Anatoly Sobchak, a co-author of the Constitution of Russia, when he was still a student at the university, where Sobchak was working as an assistant professor teaching business law. Sobchak had a significant impact on Putin's career. In 1975, following his graduation from Leningrad State University, Vladimir Putin began his professional life as an intelligence officer in the KGB. In 1998, Putin joined President Boris Yeltsin's administration. He then quickly ascended through the ranks of the Russian government. In 1998, Putin was promoted to first deputy chief of the presidential administration, and he was responsible for overseeing the Kremlin's relations with the various regional governments. Soon after that, he was put in charge of the Federal Security Service, which was a branch of the former KGB. He was also appointed the head of Yeltsin's Security Council. In August of 1999, Yeltsin removed Sergei Stapashin, who was then the prime minister, and the rest of Stapashin's government, and promoted Vladimir Putin to take Stapashin's position. Yeltsin tendered his resignation as president in December 1999, and Putin was then appointed to serve in that capacity until official elections were held the following year. On March 26, 2000, Russia held its presidential election, and Vladimir Putin was victorious in the first round of voting. In 2004, he was also re-elected. In 2008, Putin was compelled to step down as president of Russia due to term limits, but not before ensuring that his protege, Dmitry Medvedev, would succeed him in that role. Medvedev appointed Putin to the position of prime minister in 2008, and Putin remained in that role until his re-election as president of Russia in 2012. Over time, Putin has earned a reputation for being quite contentious. His approach to addressing issues pertaining to foreign policy and human rights is frequently called into question by both other international leaders and political analysts. Nevertheless, Putin has maintained popularity among the Russian population ever since he took over as president of Russia in 1999, following Boris Yeltsin's unexpected retirement from the position. Putin has not only been successful politically, but he also maintains a lavish lifestyle that is beyond anyone's wildest dreams. In fact, some experts classify him as the most wealthy leader in the world. But is this solely from his earnings as a president? Well, let's find out. According to official disclosures, Vladimir Putin receives a yearly income of 5.8 million rubles, which is over $187,000. He stated that he had an income of $113,000. Putin also claims to have a modest net worth, which he says consists of an investment of $180,000 in a savings bank account, a few autos manufactured in Russia, and a plot of land measuring 16,000 square feet located in the suburbs of Moscow. Putin's ex-wife, Ludmila, has over $260,000 in her bank account. They asserted that their combined net worth did not exceed $500,000 at any point in time. Is that true? Well, the possessions that have been linked to the Russian president say otherwise. Here are some luxurious possessions of Vladimir Putin. Putin is frequently seen wearing expensive watches, some of which have retail prices that are multiple times higher than his rumored yearly income. He has been pictured wearing a Patek Philippe perpetual calendar, which is worth $60,000, and he's said to own an A. Lang and Son turbograph perpetual, which is worth $500,000, in addition to other elaborate timepieces. There are rumors that Putin is the owner of a magnificent mansion that is 190,000 square feet in size and sits on top of a rock close to the Black Sea. This coastal property, which is said to be the largest and most expensive private residence in Russia, serves as Putin's private palace and is affectionately referred to as Putin's country cottage. The estate is Putin's playground. and features frescoed ceilings, a 27,000 square foot guest house, a marble swimming pool surrounded by statues of Greek gods, spas with traditional hammams, dressing rooms for all his staff, a musical parlor, a top-notch ice hockey rink, an amphitheater, a nightclub with stripper poles, a Vegas-style casino, and a bar room designed to showcase more than $100,000 worth of spirits and wine. Classical music is playing continuously around the clock at the property's vineyards. According to reports, the majority of the home was furnished and adorned by items from an exclusive elite Italian brand called Citerio Atena. Some of these items include sofas in the style of Louis XIV, dining room furnishings for $500,000, and a bar table costing $54,000. Even the restrooms have been lavishly adorned, the Italian toilet brushes costing $850 each, and toilet paper holders costing $1,250 each. In addition to the expensive furnishings, an annual budget of $2 million is allocated for the upkeep of the property's landscape, which is performed by a crew of 40 individuals. The construction of the Black Sea Mansion resulted in a cost of $1.4 billion and was designed by Lanfranco Cirillo, a well-known Italian architect. A fleet of 58 helicopters and aircraft, including a plane called the Flying Kremlin that costs $716 million and features a toilet made of gold, are rumored to be among Putin's possessions. In addition to the Black Sea Mansion, he owns 19 other mansions and 700 automobiles. It should not come as a surprise given his preference for opulent and neoclassical building styles. Putin also possesses a mega yacht with a price tag of $100 million. This allows him to move in whatever means of transportation he wishes to move in. Critics have asserted that Vladimir Putin was in an ideal position to personally profit from each stage of the transition from the Soviet Union to the pseudo-capitalist oligarchy that exists today. In fact, there are rumors that the president of Russia has a net worth of over $200 billion, making him one of the wealthiest people in the world. How can a civil servant amass such a massive fortune? Well, here are three possibilities. Number 1. Fortune gained via privatization. Many Russian experts and analysts believe that Vladimir Putin has utilized his position to do a little more than just enhance life for the average Russian citizen. Putin is said to build substantial covert ownership shares in many multi-billion-dollar commodity corporations while simultaneously privatizing a number of industries that were formerly owned by the state. His most vocal critics say that Vladimir Putin has used his influence to acquire ownership stakes in various businesses, including a 4.5% ownership holding in Gazprom, a natural gas producer, a 37% investment in oil company Surgutneftegas, and a 50% stake in Swiss oil trader Gunvor. Gazprom generates more than $150 billion in annual sales on its own. Surgutneftegas generates more than $20 billion, and Governor generates more than $80 billion. This reveals that Putin has an expected net worth of $70 billion. Number 2. The Khodorkovsky theory. Recent research by Forbes uncovered various theories regarding the means by which Vladimir Putin may have amassed and concealed his wealth. One of these theories relates to a Russian oligarch, Mikhail Khodorkovsky. Mikhail was, at one point, the richest man in Russia. His fortune was reported to be somewhere about $15 billion. However, in 2003, he was sentenced to prison for evading taxes and engaging in fraudulent activity. He never stopped denying these offenses. Khodorkovsky's riches were frozen, and his firms were dismantled. It is believed that most of Khodorkovsky's wealth went to Putin. Number 3. Mafia theory. Another theory suggests that Putin amassed his riches by assisting members of his immediate family and other close associates by utilizing his position in government. Forbes speculated that members of his inner circle would compensate him monetarily or in the form of equity in a business they would obtain directly from his assistance. Arkady Rottenberg, a friend of Vladimir Putin's, who was awarded government contracts worth over $7 billion in the run-up to the Winter Olympics in Sochi in 2014, was the beneficiary of one of these contracts. An investigation conducted by Reuters in 2015 revealed that Putin's daughter, Katerina, had corporate holdings worth approximately $2 billion, with her husband, Kirill Shamalov. Kirill Shamalov is the son of Nikolai Shamalov, who has been a close friend of the president for many years. According to financial analysts, Kirill and Katerina got their wealth from a sizable, publicly disclosed share in a significant gas and petrochemical company from Gennady Timchenko, another of Putin's friends. Financial analysts revealed that the wealth of Putin's daughter had been acquired by Kirill. It was alleged that Putin's daughter also possessed a villa in France with a value of $3.7 million in addition to the properties. That is the information that reporters have found. In addition, I wouldn't be surprised if there is more money and fortune that hasn't been found yet. The president of Russia keeps up the farce that he is an honest bureaucrat who lives an everyday life, despite the mountains of evidence and testimony that have been leveled against him. What are your thoughts on how wealthy the Russian president actually is? Is he as wealthy as reports claim him to be? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, then you should watch these two videos I made for you. You'll be glad that you did. Thanks for staying tuned in.